Coming up on First at 4, another round of heavy rain moves across eastern Kentucky. We'll show you some of the high water issues.
Sickness has schools closing because of low attendance, and pharmacists say more prescriptions are coming in. We'll have more details coming up next.
And flooding problems continue. Those details now on First at 4.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, a washout for eastern Kentucky. Heavy rain has caused problems all day, from schools dismissing early to roads being closed. There is some good news, though. A break is coming. Chief Meteorologist Andrew Dockery begins our Severe Weather Alert Day coverage.
Yes, Steve, that's what we're watching at this time. A lot of these showers and storms pushing their way off to the east, and we will be getting a break starting here soon. Scattered showers continue throughout tonight, but a break helps us out quite a bit because those creeks, those streams, really the areas that flood quite easy will be able to start to drain, and then we focus on the rivers, of course, tomorrow, even while that break is going on. Notice right now we continue to look, pinpoint Doppler, heavy rain still coming down in Pike County. We continue to track that as it pushes its way to the east. Once again, more scattered activity and some light rain expected, but a break helps because we don't have the moderate rain actually increasing those creeks, those streams, and those are the things that are close to what we see with these homes here in eastern Kentucky. Notice satellite radar, still a little bit of light rain associated with the cold front. That will work through tonight, but there are flood warnings out for all of our eastern Kentucky counties, and they continue throughout this evening. You can see those in the shades of green. The flood watch goes through your Thursday, so through tomorrow morning, and there's a good chance that could get extended with that second system work again. Of course, Steve will break down what we know, and keep an eye on the reports on social media as well, and have a full look at that forecast in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Andrew. While we are certainly keeping an eye on many rivers across eastern Kentucky, the Cumberland River is one that seems to be causing a little more concern. WYMT meteorologist Paige Noel is live at one popular tourist spot near the Whitley-McCurry County line with an update for us. Paige?
Yeah, Steve, I'm out here at Cumberland Falls, and let me tell you, it's pretty loud out here. Now, while we're seeing just a little bit of a break, that still the problem is not over yet. Rivers are still expected to rise as we head throughout the evening and into tomorrow as well. Runoff from around the area will continue to feed into the Cumberland River, and that is why officials say tomorrow could even be worse. Brett Smitley is a naturalist here at the park, and he said the river has actually been higher this year, but this type of flow is still very rare.
Probably right now it's running about 20,000 cubic feet per second. And if you figure there's 7.5 gallons in a cubic foot of water. So you multiply 20,000 times 7.5, that's about how many gallons it's going over.
Now, average flow is around 3,000 cubic feet per second. So we're at 20,000 times that by 7.5. That's 150,000 gallons per second averaging going over the falls right now. Now, coming up at 6, Steve, I talked to Smitley, and he explains how the river has the potential to be at its highest it's ever been. For now, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, lots of concerns down that way, Paige. Thank you very much. Mudslides also continue to cause problems across the region. In Floyd County, a slide on Kentucky 1428 has shut down the road again. WYMT's Will Puckett is there.
Kentucky 1428 was shut down again today because of this mudslide behind me. This is now the 6th time that transportation officials have had to shut down 1428 near the Goebel-Roberts Bridge since the beginning of January. Transportation officials stood by idly as the slide continued to happen throughout the day Wednesday. They said right now it's a waiting game, and keeping their men safe that's the important part.
Most difficulty is like when you're out here at midnight, you're trying to look up the hill to see if anything's actually coming to keep you guys safe and stuff. Just try to be safe out here.
A waiting game is all they can play. Hall actually told me that at this point, he wishes he was dealing with snow. In Floyd County, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
Crews hope to have the road back open to at least one lane soon. Lake Cumberland continues to rise in the wake of the heavy rainfall. Today, access to Burnside Island was limited because of rising waters near the boat ramp. As WYMT's Phil Pendleton shows us, the rising water is also creating issues at some of the marinas on the lake.
All of this rainfall has caused marinas on Lake Cumberland to rise significantly. Many of the boat ramps almost non-existent. That was the case at Burnside Marina. And earlier today, I was at the Burnside Island boat ramp where the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet had to cut off access to the parking lot that leads down to that boat ramp. As the rain fell, more water inched up into the parking lot at Burnside Island, and people drove down to see how the ramp had been swallowed by all the water. Eventually, transportation crews put up a barricade blocking that part of the island. The rising lake has overtaken many boat ramps, such as Burnside Marina and the Alligator 2 Marina. Traffic is also cut off at Waitsboro Landing near Somerset, as warning danger signs are up on the hill leading down to that ramp.
I'll tell you what, it's awful. We get another 5 inches of rain, 4 inches of rain this weekend. We won't be sitting right here, I don't believe.
The current elevation of Lake Cumberland is about 741 feet above sea level. The record set in the 1980s is 751 feet, so it's got about 10 more feet to go before another record could be set. Lake Cumberland, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Local emergency management officials say the high water around the lake has not created any emergency situations. Well, do you want to stay up to date on weather conditions? The best way is to download the WYMT weather app. See live radar and zoom right into your neighborhood. You can also learn about warnings and advisories in your specific area. You can find it at the Apple and Google Play stores. This week, pharmacists in Letcher County are seeing an uptick in flu prescriptions for people young and old. To help stop it from spreading, Jenkins independent schools and several other school districts are now closed for the rest of the week. WYMT's Taylor Upchurch has more.
Empty halls at Jenkins independent schools is a sure sign that pharmacists are amid a busy flu season.
We have probably sold at least 10 Tamiflu prescriptions each day over the last few days.
Students went home sick on Friday.
Okay, we can get that filled for you.
Hoping to pick up medicine and beat the flu. But on Monday, school attendance dropped to 80%.
Actually, our attendance through what's traditionally flu season actually improved just a little. But there's no escaping this one.
It is a battle schools face and an illness Boggs Pharmacy prepares for every year. But if you have not received a vaccination, Tamiflu might be a future purchase for many families.
The Tamiflu works in a different way. It doesn't just mask the symptoms, it actually attacks the virus itself.
With 5 of 10 NTI days used for winter weather, Jenkins school officials say using 4 more gives janitors time to disinfect all surfaces.
We've cleaned the school buses and seats and handrails and all that, so hopefully Monday will be good to go.
Germs are hard to avoid, but pharmacists say a week at home is a good start.
I think it would be a good thing that's to keep the kids away from each other to keep the flu from spreading.
Hoping to stay in session for the rest of the year. In Letcher County, Taylor Upchurch, WYMT Mountain News.
Now we have quite a few school and church closings now. You can see those at the bottom of your screen and on WYMT.com. Some related to the flu, some related to high water issues. But again, you can see those at the bottom of your screen and on WYMT.com. Pharmacists say it is never too late to get that flu shot. They say the vaccination could prevent sickness from spreading more in the coming months. President Donald Trump is firing back at a news report that he tried to put someone loyal to him in charge of the investigation into his former lawyer and self-described fixer, Michael Cohen. The New York Times reported the president asked then acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker to put Jeffrey Berman, the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York and a President Trump loyalist, in charge of the Cohen case. Whitaker allegedly told the president that Berman had already recused himself from the investigation and could not head the probe.
There's a lot of fake news out there. No, I didn't.
And the president tweeted this morning, quote, "The New York Times reporting is false. They are a true enemy of the people," unquote. Cohen pleaded guilty to campaign finance violations and lying to Congress about a proposed Trump Tower project in Moscow. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Late word this afternoon that Robert Mueller's investigation may soon be coming to a close. According to people familiar with the matter, Attorney General Bill Barr could announce the completion of the Russia probe as early as next week. The almost 2-year investigation will close with a confidential report submitted directly to Barr. The Attorney General then has to decide how much of that report he will share with Congress. However, Barr said he plans to be as transparent as possible with the report when questioned about it during his confirmation hearings. Several landowners in Texas are suing the Trump administration over the president's national emergency declaration. This small 1-acre piece of land along the Rio Grande River was yet left to Yvette Gaytan by her father. It is now at risk of being taken away by the government for the new border wall. So she is suing the Trump administration to keep it.
I'm fighting his idea of what he thinks we need. They're going to take what I have left of my parents.
Last week, the Department of Defense released a statement saying the National Emergency Declaration authorizes the Secretary of Defense to determine whether border barriers are necessary. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Wednesday afternoon. The Dow closes up today more than 63 points. Straight ahead on First at 4, today marked a major milestone for an actress on television's most watched soap opera.
And as we go throughout the forecast, those rain chances continue to increase. We'll break down the latest details coming up.
Cars define the pure driving experience. While other manufacturers abandon car buyers, Toyota is committed to building cars designed with style, performance, and unparalleled standard safety features. Cars that dominate the road. Get a